Now let's continue with question 2. We are given a table, which is table 1. And table 1 below shows domestic water tariffs for City of Johannesburg for the years 2021 to 2022 and 2022 to 2023. So we are given bands, which are kiloliters, and tariffs excluding VAT, and an increase from the previous year, which is 2021 to 2022, to the current year, in this case, which is 2022 to 2023. And then we are told that use table 1 to answer the following questions. So we will start with 2.1. Question 2.1 says that define the term tariff in this context. So the tariff in this content, as you can see from the table, is a charge. It's a charge per unit of measurement. Per unit of measurement. And what are we measuring here? Kiloliters. And remember that kiloliters is used to measure things that are liquid. For example, we can talk about water. So we can use kiloliters to measure water. So now let's move to question 2.2. It reads as follows. What does the abbreviation VAT stand for? This one is easy, guys. I'm sure you all know it by now. If you don't know it, VAT stands for value added tax. Value added tax. And it is charged from goods and services. Most items that we buy, they take into consideration VAT, or VAT is taken into consideration, meaning that it is charged. So the final price of most items also include VAT, which is VAT. So now let's move to question 2.3. The question reads as follows. The tariff for the above 50 bands increased by 9.74% as shown on table 1. Calculate the value of A. So we need to calculate the value of A. So we are told that it has increased by 9.73. So to do that, there are two ways or two methods that we can use to get the value of A. So remember that we have a previous year, which is 2021 to 2022. This is the previous year. And we have 2022 to 2023. This is the current year. So we know that in 2021-2022, the band for which is greater than 50 was 60.65. So now we need the one for our current year, which is represented or presented as A, because it is unknown. So we need to calculate our A. And to do that, we are told that it has increased by, so we are told that it has increased by 9.74. So to find the value of A, we take our 60.65 multiplied by 9.74 divided by 100. This is the first method that we can use. So let's plug that on our calculator. We will get 60.65 multiplied by 9.74 over 100, and we get 5.5. So because this is not our final answer, we need to write it in full. So it's 5.90731. So to get A, we add this 5.90731 to 60.65. So to get A, we need to add the 265 plus 5.90732. But from what was the previous, we can see that it is rounded off to the 2. It is rounded off to 2 decimal places. So we need to round off our answer to 2 decimal places. And if we add the 2, we get, let's quickly do that, 60.65 plus 90731, and we get 66.55731. And to round to, and if we round to 2 decimal places, we will have 66.56. So this is the first method that you can use to calculate the value of A. And the second method, so this is method 1. The second method would be to just take 60.65 and multiply by, you add 9.74 to 100, meaning that it will be 109.74, and then you divide by 100. This should give you the final answer. Let's quickly do that. So if we take 60.65 multiplied by 109.74 divided by 100, we will get the same answer, which is 66.56 if we round it off to 2 decimal places. So now we are done with question 2.3. Okay, now let's move to question 2.4. Let's move to question 2.4. Still finding how I can write this. So now we are moving to 2.4. 2.4 says that show how the percentage increase of 9.73 for the above 10 to 15 band was calculated. So now we are looking for this value, how this value was calculated, which is 9.73 9.73. So now we want to know how 9.73 was calculated, which is a percentage increase from the previous year to the current year. This is the percentage increase. So if you are asked to calculate the percentage increase, you need to use this formula all the time. Remember to use this formula. So you need to use this formula, which is current minus previous. So this is the percentage increase formula. So it's current minus previous divided by previous multiplied by 100. So remember, we are only focusing on this band, 10 to 15. We are only focusing on this band. And our previous was 21.17, and our current is 23.23. So now you just take these two and then plug them on the formula that I showed you guys. So our current is 23.23 minus our previous, which is 21.17, divided by our previous, which is 21.17, multiplied by 100. So this will give us our percentage increase. So let's quickly plug that on our calculator. It's 23.23 minus 21.17 divided by 21.17 multiplied by 100. We get 9.73%. We round it off to 2 decimal places. So now let's move to question 2.5. Let's move to question 2.5. I think we should create space for that, or we can try squeeze it down here. Question 2.5. So question 2.5 says that the Molefe household used 18.3 kiloliters of water in January 2023. And then we have 2.5.1, which we are going to start with. So from 2.5, we know that this family used 18.3 kiloliters of water in January. 2023. And then question 2.5.1 reads as follows. The average residential water consumption in South Africa is 111.79. So this is the average water consumption. So it's 111.79 liters per person per day. So if there are 5 people in the Molefe household, determine whether this household consumes more or less than this average using a 30 days month. So this one is very easy, guys. This one is very easy. So to do this, we need to take the 111.79 liters, 111.79 liters, and multiplied by 5 people. Remember, we are told that we are assuming if this household has 5 people. So if we do that, 111.79 multiplied by 5, we get 558.98. So these are the liters used per day by 5 people. And remember that we are told that determine whether this household consumes more or less than this average using a 30-day month. So we need to take these liters per day and multiply them by 30 days so that we can get for the whole month how much this family used for the entire month, which is 30 days. So if we take 558.95 liters and multiply it by 30, we will get 558.95 multiplied by 30, we will get 16,768.5. That's how much we will get liters in a month. 0.5 liters per month. And remember, guys, you should always remember that if we are given liters, and we want to convert these liters to kiloliters, we divide by 1000. And if we are given kiloliters, and we want to convert these kiloliters to liters, we multiply by 1000. So in this case, in order for us to compare these 16,768 liters to the 18.3, we need to divide these liters by 1000 so that we can convert it back to kiloliters. So let's do that. So if we take 16,768.5 and divide it by 1000, we get, let's quickly plug that on our calculator. So it's 16,768.5 divided by 1000. So if we do that, we get 16.77 after rounding it off. So these are average kiloliters per month. These are average kiloliters per month. Average per month. So remember that the question said that determine whether this household consumes more or less than this average. So if we compare 18 and 16, which is the average, this is the average, this is the average. So, and this is what the Molefe family consumed per month. If you compare the two, you can see that the Molefe family consumes more than the average. So our answer should be they consume more than the average. Consumes more than the average. Yeah, they consumes more than the average because 18.3 is greater than 16.77. So now let's move to 2.5.2. But before we do that, let's first make space. Let's first make space. And if you are struggling to understand, guys, you can always pause the video and go back and rewatch until you understand. And if you have questions, you can always comment below and then I will come back and attend them. And we do have extra classes for those who would like to join, which are 80 rands per month, and you attend 2 times per week, meaning that in a month you attend 8 times. So there's phone numbers there on the video. If you're interested, you can WhatsApp us. Only 80 rand. And don't forget to subscribe, guys, so that when we upload, you can be able to see that we have uploaded new videos of topics that you may be struggling with. So now let's move to 2.5.2. So 2.5.2 says that calculate the cost of their water usage, including 15% VAT. So now we need to calculate the cost of their water usage. Cost of water usage. So to do this, we need to focus more on the first column, which is bends or kiloliters. We need to focus on the first column, which is bends, and the third column, which is 2022, 2023, which is our current year, which is current. So we need to focus on these 2 columns in order to calculate this successfully, in order to calculate this cost successfully. So we are told that 0 to 6 bends costs nothing, or costs 0.00. So to make it easier for you guys, I think let's refer to bends as buckets of water in this case, so that you can be able to understand. So we are referring to bends as bucket or buckets of water. So we are told that the first 6 buckets costed nothing. The first 6 costed nothing, which is 0.00. And then we are told that 6 to 10 bends costed 22.26. And before we move forward, guys, remember that this family used 18.3 kiloliters. So we can refer to this as kiloliters, as the buckets of water, so that you can be able to understand and get the concept. So the first 6 costed nothing, but then we are told that 6 to 10 costed 22.26. So in order for us to get to 10, we need to add 4 to the 6, meaning that now we have 10. And then if we have 10, we can be able to apply the cost provided for this specific bend or buckets for your understanding. So this costed 22.6. And then let's move forward. So now we have 10. We have 10 from our 18.3. We have used or calculated 10 from our 18.3. And then now let's move to the next one, or to the next band of 10 to 15. So to move from 10 to 15, we need to add 5 so that it can apply to this range of band. So if we add 5 brackets, we know that, remember here we had 10, now here we will have 15. So 10 to 15 costs 23.23. So we added 5 because we had already calculated the 10. So if we add 5, so the 5 will cost 23.23. So now remember that our cap or our kiloliters that we used were 18.3, and we have already calculated 15. So if we take this 18.3 and minus 15, you will see that we will be left with 3.3. So now we need to calculate the remaining 3.3. And we know that from 15 to 20, it costs 32.57. But we don't have to write 20 here because the maximum number of kiloliters that we used were 18.3, meaning that we can just write the remaining. Remember, it's a range, so it's from 15 to 20. And the 18 fits somewhere here, 18.3 fits somewhere here. So remember that we also take these ones into consideration. So we had 15, meaning that if we had 3.3, we will have 18.3, meaning that it still falls within this range. So to do that, I hope you are following, guys. I hope you are following, and if you have comments, you can always drop them in the comment box below. So 3.3 costed 32.57. 32.57. So to get our cost, we need to multiply these bands with the cost. And then let's do that quickly. If we multiply 6 by 0, we will get 0. And next we will multiply 4 multiplied by 22.26, and we will get 89.04. Next, if we multiply 5 by 23.23, let's quickly do that. 5 multiplied by 23.23, we will get 116.15. So it's 116.15. So the last one, we multiply 3.3 by 32.57. 3.3 multiplied by 32.57, we get 107. 07.48. So now let's get the total cost before VAT. Remember, we are told that we need to include VAT. So now we are calculating the total cost before we include VAT. Total cost before VAT. So it's 89.04 plus 116.15 plus 107.48. So we'll get 360.19. Let's quickly rework it. So it's 89, I think I made a mistake. So it's 89.04 plus 116.15 plus 107.48. So we will have 312.67. So this is the cost before VAT. Before VAT. So now to get the cost after VAT, we take the 312.67. Remember that VAT is 15%, so we can just multiply by 115 to include it here. 115 over 100. Or you can also use the first method I showed you earlier of dividing by 15 over 100 and then adding the 2 afterwards. But if you do it like this, you just get it once. So our cost including VAT will be 312.67 multiplied by 115 divided by 100. And our cost is 359.57. This is our cost including VAT. Cost including VAT of 15%. So now let's move to the last question, which is 2.6. Now let's move to 2.6. So 2.6 says that Mr. Molife thinks their water bill is too high. Suggest 2 ways they could reduce water consumption in their home. So the first way could be if they use the shower instead of a bathtub. Because in a bathtub they pour a lot of water. Shower instead of bathtub. So this is the first way in which they can use to reduce the level of water that they use in a month. So if they use a shower instead of a bathtub, that can be one reason. Bathtub. So with this question, you can answer other ways in which they can reduce their usage of water. So it doesn't have to be these answers only. And another way that they can reduce the usage of water can be using a bucket to wash cars instead of a hose pipe. Using a bucket instead of hose pipe. Yeah, so those are the 2 ways. So now we are done with question 2, and we will be moving on to the next question.